So, welcome back. It's been a while since I posted on here, but I've been thinking a lot about those of us for whom Christmas might be difficult this year, and I wanted to share something just for us. Really, I like Christmas. Generally, the music, the spirit of it all, so much chocolate, um, but also there's a lot not to like about Christmas depending on your circumstances. Like when Christmas is the anniversary of that really sad thing that happened, or when Christmas means yet another year apart from your estranged family, or when you can't afford gifts, or when your plans are to spend Christmas alone. Maybe it's your first Christmas after a breakup, or your first Christmas after a trauma, or a tragedy, or a huge transition. Maybe it's your first Christmas since a loved one died, or maybe it's the second, or the third, or the 10th, but the grief swells so large for you this time of year, no matter how many years it's been. Maybe Christmas is when you have to go back into the closet in order to be welcome home. Or maybe you're just not welcome home. Maybe Christmas is hard for you after the divorce, or after the diagnosis, or because depression, or because mental health, or because chronic pain, or because infertility, or because all's not right with the world. Maybe it's the state of our country, maybe it's the state of our environment, maybe it's Sandy Hook, or maybe it's violence of another kind. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Doesn't work for all of us. And if it doesn't work for you this year, then this message is for you. First of all, I want to say that I'm so sorry for what happened to you. It is okay to feel bummed. It's okay to walk around flat and lifeless while the world seems to bustle around you cheerful. It's okay to be really sad. It's okay to feel like Christmas sucks. Second, I don't know if this helps, but I want to say that you're not alone. Chances are you feel really lonely, and that is totally normal. I'm just saying that you're not the only one. There are thousands of us all slogging through the holidays. And maybe it would be helpful if you reached out to just one other fellow sufferer, be miserable together instead of alone. Sometimes I think when we feel pain, the tendency is to close up around the pain, to like pull it in tight so that no one can see or know, hold it really close as if for protection. But if you take a deep breath and open, your pain can lead to a sense of connectedness with humanity. Your grief, your trauma, your horror can become a pathway for connection, which is not some kind of quick fix or a justification for your suffering. Rather, I'm just saying that connection is one of the tools available to you for your healing. And you likely didn't get to choose your pain, but you do get to choose those things that serve your healing, and connection is one of them. And then finally, I want to say that if you didn't already know this, the original Christmas was for people like us, the sorrowful ones, the rejected ones, the impoverished ones, the oppressed ones, the forgotten ones. The very first prophet in the Gospels is Mary, mother of Jesus, and her prophecy comes in the form of a song, and she sings that God will bring down the rulers from their thrones but lift up the humble. That God will fill the hungry with good things, but the rich God will send away empty. Sounds like a message for us, right? The magic behind the Christmas story is that God chose to come in human form to be with us. You know how I mentioned connection before as a pathway to healing? Well, God chose to connect by taking on flesh, or as Eugene Peterson puts it, moving into the neighborhood. God chose to move into the neighborhood of your pain and be with you in it. I was thinking about how many times in my life I wouldn't have had much of a Christmas if it weren't for friends. I like Christmas trees generally, but somehow the task of finding one and getting it decorated feels like super daunting to me when I'm alone or depressed or upset or all of the above. So one year, my friend Tracy threw an ornament exchange party just for me. It was a year where I needed to discard some bad memories, and so everyone brought their used ornaments and we did a swap between us. Because as Tracy said, my ornaments only had bad juju for me and not for anyone else. Most of my ornaments today are from that ornament swap several years ago, and I treasure them. And then there was another year where I invited a family with kids over to help me decorate the tree, and we made Christmas cookies together. And then last year, when I was a single foster mom to 2 babies under the age of 1, my friend Sarah organized a small army to set up my tree and hang lights on my front porch. And then this year, my friend Aurelia arrived in my treeless living room and promptly declared that it needed some Christmas cheer. So we went shopping for garland and lights, and before I could blink an eye, she'd whipped out her credit card and didn't let me pay for it. In other words, every year someone moves into the neighborhood of my pain and joins me there, like a mini incarnation. And usually, somewhere along the way, I end up smiling. It's hard sometimes to accept help. I at least like to be self-sufficient and tough. But even Jesus had to be fed at his mother's breast. And if Jesus can spend Christmas that vulnerable, so can we. There may be dear ones gone from your life forever this year. Or you may have been treated very badly by ones still living. But somewhere out there is a kind soul with whom you have the power to connect. It's not going to make the hurt go away or the loneliness disappear, but I suspect it will do something meaningful for your aching heart if you allow it. The goodness in the universe wants to make a connection with you, I believe. It might not be a life-altering connection this year, but then again, even the big things in life start as tiny seeds. And so, may the soil of your sad heart stretch to catch what is sown there this season. Grief, I find, makes the most fertile soil, and I hope for you a planting. Light, love, and liberation for all. Amen.